EnclaveGaming, and today we're going to sit down and have a little Q&A with one of the guys over at Muse Studios who are developing a game called Guns of Icarus Online. If you haven't checked it out, please do so. We will be putting out a gameplay video of it pretty soon, so enjoy.
Yeah.
And Guns of Icarus Online and all the shootingness of it.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, the main question I have is that I noticed that, like, the heavy weapons, they're called medium. So do y'all plan on introducing a bigger ship with bigger guns?
We did, and at one point, we may have a, like, large gun ship, like with a regular size ship with a very limited large gun assortment.
Mm-hmm.
The original plan actually called for ships ranging in size from 2-player to 8-player, but due to technical strengths, the 8-player ship idea was dropped. That may come along in the Guns of Icarus PvE world, which is scheduled for 2013. We'll talk more about that as well. But at the moment, technical constraints are holding us back.
Okay. So it's mainly the technical aspects is why we don't have those large ships yet?
Yep. That's pretty much it. They're, we may see some 2-person ships at some point, but we're not sure how we balance that into the... Well, we have biplanes in the works also. They're first going to be AI controlled, and then so those will be like single-person ships of sorts.
Yeah.
Basically, you'll take off from some sort of carrier, right?
Yeah, like some like big ship carrier.
Yeah.
The carrier ship. Yeah.
So we do have that won't be player controlled to begin with, but eventually we hope to make that a reality. Also, that's much in the future. You know, again, we're talking 2013.
Yeah. Yeah. You also mentioned that you're probably going to do it when you go into the adventure mode, which I read that you're just going to like introduce this kind of a beta when the game is released.
Yeah.
If I read the article right.
A little bit after the beta, we plan on starting to tinker, or after the launch, we plan on starting to tinker with. It'll probably be a couple months after launch before we roll out some sort of PvE world testing. Starting undoubtedly with basically co-op scenarios for players to play. So it'll be like a. We'll probably start it with a map in which everybody's on the same team fighting AI planes. You know, biplanes and carriers and other zeppelins, etc.
Okay.
With some sort of objective.
Yeah.
So sort of the story behind the game, of course, is that we're in this like sort of post-apocalyptic wasteland, and your ships aren't just warships. For the most part, they're cargo ships, right? Yeah. So you're trying to get goods from one place to another, either by protecting a cargo ship or being the cargo ship yourself. So.
Okay.
So, what inspired y'all to make the game?
I'm sorry. Do we want to start recording yet, or?
I'm recording already.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to know. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
The inspiration for Guns of Icarus, as I understand, I was not there for that. The original, but the original was basically a sort of new take on. One of the favorite parts of a variety of games the developers played is where you are playing the turret in somebody else's tank or whatnot. And so they said, wouldn't that be cool if you could just like play a series of turrets as opposed to like a traditional I'm the one-man army style FPS. And that was sort of the beginning, and then Steampunk kind of just fit right into it because they decided that it would be cool if it was like a big airship and big zeppelin. Yeah. The rest, as they say, is history. They decided to put together sort of a prototype game that became the original Guns of Icarus, which is basically an on-the-rails shooter. And that, was very well received by players. Players really liked the concept. It was a pretty simple game, though, right? It wasn't going to rock anybody's world. But everybody said, we want people to fly the ships, we want multiplayer, we want basically all the features that are in the game now. That's great.
So, go ahead, Doug.
Do y'all plan on introducing any more game modes other than Team Deathmatch and the resources?
Yeah, there's going to be a payload that we're working on. There's a duel mode that we're working on. There is a nighttime battle one, which I'm not sure what the objective is going to be, but it should be a pretty cool map.
And duel, is that just gonna be like a one-on-one?
Yeah, duel will just be one-on-one. For some reason, players want that. I'm not really a fan of the idea. People have requested it.
Well, I
guess,
mean,
you know,
if somebody
their
disses,
skills.
yeah, if somebody disses your crew, you can like, let's go, come on,
Yeah.
throw it down,
You know, at the heart of the game, Guns of Icarus is all about team play, right? So,
yeah.
but whatever. If that's what the players want, that's what we'll give them. You know, to a limited degree, we definitely listen to the players, and we definitely, you know, we take their feedback absolutely seriously, and we do our best to, you know, appease what they want. That said, we will never have boarding combat. That's the most requested feature. Just will never happen. So
Yeah, it'll just be like any other FPS.
yeah, that's what we want to avoid. We don't want to end up in the situation where you're a one-man army again.
Yeah.
So, I play the gunner mainly, and notice that he's got a variety of things to pick and choose from, but it kind of feels like some of the items should be passive. Have y'all talked about that at all?
Yeah. All the equipment items are being balanced and tested and revamped. Certainly, we are open to a variety of ways to tackle this problem with balance and with trying to make your character really unique. Right? So, what you're seeing now is only a snippet of some of the equipment items, and those are going to be unlocked with achievements, which will be sort of like the progression play. The hope is that more or less items are balanced, like at least they have a specific purpose and useful, specific use situation. So, you know, not having all the achievement unlocks should not make your character less useful. It'll just make you a little bit less flexible.
Yeah, it won't make the veteran players overpowered against the newcomers. Yeah.
That's the hope, yeah. We're completely against pay-to-win models. That's why we don't have... There will be a shop in the game, but it's cosmetic only. You'll be some costumes and, you know, cosmetic upgrades to your ship, like decals and flags and fixing the broken stairs and that kind of thing. Yeah, very much against the pay-to-win, very much against the, you know, the idea that because you play more, your character is simply stronger.
Okay.
Although in the PvE world, that might, you know, change, obviously, because that's what PvE worlds are all about.
Now, in the PvE world, I know essentially at first it's going to be just player PvE, but do y'all plan on making like a PvE adventure, PvP adventure type mode?
Well, that'll be part of the PvE mode, actually. There'll be, you know, this is all very speculative. Again, you know, nothing is even coded yet in this. That's all on paper. But basically, the idea would be that there are trade routes that exist between various towns, and some of those trade routes will be PvP zones. And so, if you go on one of those trade missions, you know, for all the risk and reward, you may encounter another set of enemies on the opposite path. And when you guys clash, one of you will complete your mission, and the other one will fail it, and that's the way it'll go.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty good.
And I don't know if you mentioned this already, but on the adventure, do y'all plan on having it like a free roam world, or is it just kind of like you select missions, kind of like the old Guns of Icarus, where you select the missions and you do them and you go around?
As I have been told, they are open to everything. You know, right now, like I said, it's still in the planning stages.
Yeah.
That said, it is unlikely that it'll be open world due to the constraints involved with that kind of a situation. I mean,
yeah,
tricky. It's pretty tricky to get that kind of tech behind what we you know, with our team size and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it's much more feasible that it become a instance-based trade route. You know, you go to one mission and you know, complete that, and then you go to your next, as opposed to just wandering around shooting things aimlessly.
Okay.
Which we admit would be really cool, but
yeah, but
But then again, also, who wants to take the time to fly from one town to another with like,
Well,
no
I mean,
enemies, potentially?
you're talking to the wrong person about that point. I'd love to do that.
All right,
Yeah.
because most of the landscape's kind of like a barren wasteland.
Well, I mean, it's just the appeal of the adventure of you never know when you're gonna get jumped or whatever.
Yeah, it's true, and that's basically what we want. We want to create the sort of feeling of randomness. We talked about dynamic generation of enemies and dynamic generation of sort of attack patterns in terms of where they're coming from, and when they attack, and what is going on. In an instance, like, it won't be. The hope is that it won't be some sort of handheld thing where it's like, well, at least not all the time, where it's like a situation where you know what's happening, you know what's going to come next, and the fight always is kind of the same. Really want to like that. Again, it's all just on paper right now.
Oh yeah.
Now, I know this is still, the game is still in the beta and mechanics will change, but do you know any reason why y'all switch from the old gunning mechanics to these gunning mechanics? So I've seen earlier videos where like the gunny would carry around ammo and he would drop different types of ammo to the gun. Is there a specific reason why y'all changed that?
Yeah. Actually, that was changed on my suggestion, and the reason was that it was not actually very intuitive, because what you saw in the video was you'd have to unequip the gun, switch your ammo box on, right? And then like it wasn't clear how to activate it. It was just not as cool as it seems in the video, frankly. Is the reality.
Oh, okay.
And so, yeah, the new system is it certainly does require a little bit less micromanagement in terms of how many buttons you have to press to do things, but that's sort of on purpose. Guns of Icarus is a much faster game. There's a game, Air Buccaneer, which is kind of I don't know, a competitor is the wrong word. It's vaguely similar in that it uses airships, but they have a mechanic like that. And after playing their game, we decided that we didn't want to go that way, because it felt like, because in that game you have to press a button to load, you have to press a button to light a fuse, you have to press a button to go back to aiming the gun. It felt too bulky. And given the speed that things happen in this game, you don't have time to be fiddling around with, oh, it's time to press the reload button, oh, it's time to press the fire button, oh, it's time to press the aim button. We wanted this to be a little bit more fast-paced. That's why that got axed.
I see.
Yeah, that seemed like it would have been, especially with like if you have like the more daring captains, that would have been a huge problem.
Well, hey, as long as you communicate it, in theory.
Yeah.
In theory.
But then again, you have those some players, like some random players that don't have mics on or don't know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, I was talking about Howard on making microphone a system requirement in this game. Yeah, apparently Steam won't let us do that.
Yeah, but I mean, I could definitely see how. That kind of brings me to another question. Do y'all plan on like having a kick system where if the captain knows like this one crewman, he's not very good at teamwork or whatever, are you gonna make it to where the captain can kick him off the ship, or?
Oh, that's a tricky question. We are playing still around with the matchmaking. Certainly, once you're in the game, the answer is no. You won't be able to vote kick somebody off your ship. Matches just don't take long enough for that to be an issue.
Yeah.
My thought is yes. We're probably going to be adding more captain controls over crew members. For instance, one, you'll be able to predefine your team before you hit play. So you'll be able to like form up a ship and then go in. It'll just put you in as like a full ship, whatever you find. 2, the captain will be able to lock out positions. So, and of course, lock out a position somebody else. So yeah, in effect, you'd be able to remove somebody.
Okay.
basically reserve a slot for somebody,
Yeah. Okay.
and they would just shift it over to another ship.
Mm.
But
And
yeah,
'cause
I suspect there might be an issue if you might not be able to do it. For instance, if the game is completely full and there's no one for you guys to.
Yeah.
I think so.
It was just because I've had times where I've had a guy and I was just thinking like an AI would do a better job than this guy.
Yeah, we've all felt that way. We've all felt that way at times.
Yeah.
I like the pilots that keep me just out of arc of my gun, no matter how much I tell them to turn to the right.